You're totally guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. Because you support Donald Trump.
Cenk, you're going to have to learn how to control yourself. I know it's very difficult for you, but you just had a very long time to speak and we were quiet. I promise you can do that. You need to sit on your hands, then you should do that. Cenk is somebody that grew up, obviously, with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's never had to fight for anything in his life and has never had to put his life before somebody else's.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all is good wherever you are. In this video, we're going to watch a clip from Piers Morgan's show Uncensored, where he had Candace Owens and Cenk Uygur on there. And Cenk Uygur was absolutely unhinged in this episode. Now, I'm not somebody who watches the Young Turks on a regular basis, so I don't know if he's this redacted all the time, but good Lord, what a child. Let's get into his first rant.
Cenk Uygur, there's a lot going on. I mean, the news cycle right now feels slightly insane. You know, you've got Donald Trump nearly assassinated again, twice in 2 months now. You've got apparently Israel launching this extraordinary attack across the whole of Lebanon on thousands of Hezbollah terrorists and, of course, wounding and potentially killing as well civilians in the process. So there's a lot to unpack here. What do you make of it?
Okay, first of all, on Donald Trump, what do you want me to do? The guy did a coup attempt. He had fake electors, not even his own electors. You have your own slate of electors. He didn't use them because they said this is unconstitutional and illegal. You lost the election. And he said, all right, you can get in fake electors. Let's do a coup attempt here. Let's have them bum rush the Capitol. And then that'll create enough confusion that we can bring it back to the states and the Republicans will cheat for us. They even wrote it in a book. Then he said we should terminate the Constitution because he lost the election. So what do you want me to do, Piers? The guy hates democracy. He's a dictator wannabe. So, okay, should you shoot at him? Of course not. Any action that is physical like that or violent is a surrender in the intellectual field of debate and ideas. So it's a terrible idea, it's immoral, etc. But I'm not going to let up on Donald Trump for 1 second rhetorically, because he is a monster. And he tried to terminate our Constitution. He tried to steal an election. I've never seen anyone so despicable in American politics. And by the way, there's another reason why I'm angry at him, because I'm a populist. And he took populism and he perverted it to just turning into his own personal con. He's such a slimy con man. I loathe him. Everyone should vote against him. He's one of the worst people I have ever seen in politics, and I'm not going to let him terminate the Constitution or destroy this democracy.
You see, what I find extraordinary, Cenk, is you haven't even given it a beat since he nearly had his brains blown out on Sunday on a golf course, which came 2 months after...
Did he give a beat, Piers? Did he give a beat? Did he ever give a beat when he constantly talks about violence? Hey, if someone takes out somebody from with a stretcher, I'll pay the legal bills. Attack people. Oh, my political opponents, I'm going to jail them. I'm going to attack them.
Well, to be clear, well, hang on. To be clear, you're trying to equate him making a joke about maybe slapping or punching someone in a crowd who's abusing him with someone.
Can I make a joke about
someone taking an AK
Trump across the face?
Well, hang on. Was somebody
Can I make that joke?
Was somebody
Can I make that joke, Piers?
Well, hang on. Somebody actually shooting him on a rally stage and then very nearly shooting him on a golf course with an AK-47. Do you not see the difference?
So, Piers, those are terrible actions. So what am I'm asking you a literal question. What do you want me to just go?
Could you give it a beat?
Okay, now Donald Trump's a good... Hold on, let me finish the question.
On a human level.
Donald Trump's a good guy. Donald Trump loves democracy. Donald Trump... No, Donald Trump's still the same monster he was yesterday. So I hate that people are shooting at him. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's immoral. It's wrong.
Why would you be surprised?
I can't condemn it any stronger.
Why would you be surprised?
I'm not going to tell you that Donald Trump is a decent man
but Cenk,
when
why
he's
would
a
you
grotesque human being.
Why would you be surprised that people are taking drastic action? Unhinged people with unhinged brains who are listening to constant rhetoric from people.
You didn't answer the question.
Well,
what do you want me to do? You want me to politically surrender, right?
I'm asking you a question. Do you not consider for a moment that within 48 hours you're still saying monster, demagogue, dictator, blah,
yes,
blah, 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 blah.
Because that's who he is.
Yes, but this is what is affecting...
So you want me to lie?
Yeah, because...
Piers, tell me this.
Because,
do you want me to lie?
Let me finish. The shooter at the golf course, specifically in his recent social media posts, parroted Kamala Harris, saying that he was effectively an existential threat to democracy in America. You're doing the same. Does nothing make you pause?
You're insane.
Hillary Clinton's
You're
doing the
insane.
same.
Trump does it 2,000 times worse.
So
Piers,
because you think he does it,
your
you
great
should do
idea
it too.
is Democrats shouldn't. Your great idea is Democrats shouldn't campaign against your beloved Donald Trump because some moron, mentally unstable guy took a shot at him. Okay, or two of them did. You know what? I can protect Donald Trump. Ban assault weapons. That'll protect Donald Trump way more than any of say nice things about him. Now that some lunatic took some shots at him. Here, let me be super clear. If you're on the left, I know the right-wingers love their guns and Second Amendment remedy, and they've been riled up to do violence nonstop. But if you're on the left and you do any violence, you are not one of us. You're a stupid person who does nothing but make a worthy cause look immoral with your insanity. Never do violence. Is that clear enough?
Or maybe when they constantly hear on the airwaves people like you and Hillary Clinton and others constantly depicting Trump as an existential threat to democracy in America.
Piers, you're totally guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. Because you support Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has done 2,000 times worse, and you know it. You won't even run it on this show.
Okay.
You won't even run it on this show because Donald Trump, what he says is so much worse than anything a Democrat has ever said about him. So you won't even run it on this show. So that's it. Are you telling Donald Trump, you better shut up? You better not say any of those gross things that you always say. You know that he joked about smashing Nancy Pelosi's husband's head in with a hammer.
Yeah, and the truth
One
is,
of his
Cenk,
lunatic fans tried to murder Nancy Pelosi's husband, and he's like, it's so funny.
Here's the
Do you
problem.
know that when they try to murder his vice president,
Here's the problem,
he then
Cenk.
turned around and said he deserved it.
Here's the problem.
He's a psycho,
Here's
and you
the problem.
defend him every day, Piers.
Here's the problem. You have no idea what I've said about Trump when he's done these things. If you had, you wouldn't accuse me of not talking about them because I always do.
Shut up?
Because I always do.
Are you telling him to shut up?
There's total refusal here to admit that they might have something to do with the fact that all these people are trying to assassinate President Trump. Remember when they did the debate between Trump and Kamala Harris? This happened just after the first assassination attempt. And by design, the moderators never mentioned it once during the debate. You'd think that would have been a big talking point, but no. Not one mention of it. And again, this is by design. Let me play you a little clip here from President Trump, and then I'm going to show you a press release that the Trump-Vance campaign put out.
Second attempt in your life in under 2 months. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a lot of rhetoric going on. Right. A lot of people think that the Democrats, when they talk about threat to democracy and all of this, and it seems that both of these people were radical lefts.
So here's the press release that Donald Trump's team released on September 16th. This was posted on my community tab the same day. Let me read you some of these quotes. They pulled out all of the receipts with this one. Yesterday, President Donald J. Trump was the target of a second assassination attempt in as many months. Thankfully, the would-be assassin was stopped by the heroic actions of law enforcement. But make no mistake, this cycle was egged on by the rhetoric and lies that have flowed from Kamala Harris, Democrats, and their fake news allies for years. Democrats use increasingly incendiary rhetoric against President Trump in the days, weeks, months leading up to the two assassination attempts. Now, I'm going to read you a few of these, not all of them actually, because there's 4 pages of it. But when you have rhetoric like this, when you keep saying that he's a threat to democracy or that you're comparing it to Hitler, which, listen, is not true. One was responsible for the death of millions of Jews, and the other one was the best president of my lifetime. So they're not the same. And you got to keep in mind when you say these things, the guy's got family, grandkids. I mean, would you not feel bad? I know they don't. But if he was such a threat, he was there for 4 years as the president, he would have done something then. If he was this lunatic, but he didn't. Okay, these people are mad. Now let's read a few of these quotes here. Trump is a threat to our democracy and fundamental freedoms, from Kamala Harris. Again, from Kamala Harris. It is on us to recognize the threat Trump poses. Also Kamala Harris. Does one of us have to come out alive? Now we have a few from Joe Biden here. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. This from the bottom of my heart, Trump is a threat to this nation. There is one existential threat, it's Donald Trump. Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's literally a threat to everything America stands for. I would say the complete opposite, to be fair. Another Joe Biden Trump. Trump and MAGA Republicans are a threat to the very soul of this country. Here's an insane one from Tim Waltz. Are Republicans a threat to democracy? Yes. They're going to put people's lives in danger. This coming from a man who during the BLM riots literally put people's lives in danger. This is coming from a man who is okay with kids being taken away from their families if you don't affirm their gender when they're minors. Tim Waltz is a radical leftist. A quote here by Liz Cheney. Trump presents a fundamental threat to the republic, and we are seeing it on a daily basis. Now, I'm going to put the other 2 pages up on the screen here while I talk, but Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney endorsing Kamala Harris, and they said, oh, even Republicans are endorsing us. Yeah, you can have those warmongering neocons, those forever war neocons. You can have those. Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney not endorsing you, that's a badge of honor. I would wear that proudly. If I'm President Trump, that's what I'm saying. I'm going out there saying, hey, look, Dick and Liz Cheney don't want to endorse me. That's a good thing. But you have these people going on with this rhetoric, and guys like Cenk Uygur acting unhinged about it. It's totally insane. Let's get back to the video.
In Candace Owens here. Candace, look, we're 48 hours after the latest assassination attempt, and I'm listening to another liberal who I respect. I've had Cenk on a lot on this show, absolutely losing his mind about how despicable Donald Trump is and what a threat he is and a danger and so on and so on. Exactly the kind of rhetoric that Trump has said he believes is fueling these people to try and kill him. What do you make of where we are with this?
What I make of all of this is that if you are going to legitimately tell people that someone is a monster, that somebody is a dictator, that somebody is literally Adolf Hitler, if you're going to tell people that this person is a constant threat, why wouldn't somebody try to eliminate that threat? That would actually be a sensible thing for somebody to do if they believe the rhetoric that is coming out of people's mouths. Now,
then
if
all
this
of the
had
right
happened
wing
and
is
it was
guilty,
flipped,
including you, Candace.
Cenk, you just
You're all
spoke for a
guilty.
very long
Let
time.
Candace finish, please.
You're going to have to learn how to control yourself. Cenk, you're going to have to learn how to control yourself. I know it's very difficult for you, but you just had a very long time to speak and we were quiet. I promise you can do that. You need to sit on your hands, then you should do that. As I was saying, if this situation had been reversed and I had just watched somebody try to shoot Kamala Harris, I would be definitively saying how wrong it was. I would be saying to people that despite the fact that I do not want her to be president, of course, she is not so much of a threat that she needs to be shot. They don't stop this rhetoric because they do not want these assassination attempts to stop on Donald Trump. And I want to be very clear. The circumstance that we find ourselves in the West is one of remarkable privilege. And when you're in times of remarkable privilege, it creates actually an issue of having a lot of weak men, right? Weak men are the ones that are going out here
like
proclaiming that Donald Trump is a threat, proclaiming that Donald Trump is somebody that is a dictator because they've never had real conflict in their lives. And you're about to see that example right now, the difference in the demeanor between someone like Cenk and Eric Prince, who I greatly respect, and who is somebody who has seen real conflict and understands what real threat is, right? He understands real threat. Cenk is somebody that grew up, obviously, with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's never had to fight for anything in his life and has never had to put his life before somebody else's. So it's very easy for him to behave like this, to behave demonstrably like a toddler who is throwing his toys out of the pram when he doesn't get what he wants. And so he heightens his rhetoric and says, why am I not getting what I want? This man's a dictator. This man's a threat. And he's not being realistic. And it's embarrassing to our country, whether it was a person on the right or the left.
You guys haven't addressed it at all.
Cenk, I promise you are capable of controlling yourself.
He wants to terminate the Constitution, so you like that?
As somebody else.
Yeah, Candace is not kidding when she says weak. We're definitely in the weak men part of that quote. I'm sure everybody's heard the quote, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. We are in the weak men part of that quote at the moment. Let's just be thankful that there's no wars or anything going on, because imagine this generation having to go and fight for the freedom of America. And these guys like Cenk Uygur, when people say weak men, this is what you think of. And look, he's been very successful in his life. I'm sure he's a multimillionaire. But to be that successful, not have any control over your feelings or your emotions as a man, makes you weak. if you can get that triggered over words said by another human being and you're an adult, you, my friend, as Candace just told him, maybe have not lived through any hard times in your life. Because sure, nobody likes to hear bad things said about them, but to be that upset and triggered about, again, words, that is for weak people. Let's get back to the video.
What do you make of this debate, which is raging right now, in this debate now, about the rhetoric and the responsibility of people who are on the airwaves, who are in public life, to dial down the rhetoric?
Look, like the video clip you opened with, there's an enormous amount of apocalyptic language spoken by the left, saying he must be eliminated, he is Hitler, and that unleashes every left-wing crazy to authenticate themselves by saying, I'm going to be the hero. This guy, this Ruth guy on Sunday, who was there for 12 hours stalking Donald Trump with a high-powered rifle with a scope, with ballistic plates up against the fence. And what did he have up there? A GoPro. Why? He was trophy hunting. He wanted to be the savior of the left, to say, I'm the one that killed Donald J. Trump. Trophy hunting, Cenk, for people like you responding to words that you're putting out there. Why else would he have a GoPro?
No, he wanted to get famous. You're totally right about that, Eric. And I hate that. But the way that this whole thing has been framed as if the right wing doesn't do rhetoric that is 10,000 times more dangerous and violent over and over again. Trump's fans sent pipe bombs to every one of his enemies. Trump fans hit Nancy Pelosi's husband in the head with a hammer, and Trump never even denounced it. How sick is that? That he never even denounced it. He laughs about it. So if we were using the Trump standard, we'd laugh about him getting shot at, but I'm not as disgusting as Donald Trump is.
Nancy Pelosi's husband had an interlude with some bizarre gay lover. Trust me,
he wasn't on the right.
Oh my God, I'm on here with lunatics. I'm on here with lunatics and conspiracy theorists. He wasn't on the right. I can't believe he just said that. And you're saying that the guy who smashed Paul Pelosi's head in wasn't on the right? Is that what Candace Owens, the lunatic, just said?
Okay, just so you know, if you're going to call somebody else a lunatic, you shouldn't be behaving like one in the process.
When you say, but Cenk, when you say these right-wingers are all nuts, do you understand the irony, given you just spent the last 10 minutes literally ranting?
Yeah, I do, Piers. So I am loud and aggressive because that's what the Democrats and the left wing need to stand up to lunatic bullies like this. Candace Owens just said that the attacker of Paul Pelosi was not a right-winger when he is a Donald Trump fan and a deep right-winger. And Eric Prince, the lunatic, had said that he was a gay lover of Paul Pelosi, a conspiracy theory so unhinged that how am I supposed to respond to it? You can't have a rational discussion with people who don't believe in facts and logic. Piers, are you agreeing with these two lunatics that he was not a right-winger,
you should have a little bit more respect
sort of gay
than
lover
to
of Paul
refer to
Pelosi?
Eric Prince as a lunatic. He served our country. You should have a little more respect and decency.
Yeah, no, he's a mercenary and a disgusting guy, by the way. How many people did you get killed? Innocent people in Iraq, Eric. How many people did you have mowed down in Iraq, Eric?
You know, going back to your topic, Pierce, perhaps it's time to bring back 19th century behavior, which maybe we had a more civil society then. If people are going to throw all kinds of bombastic language, they do so because they do it without consequence. In the 19th century in the UK, people would call them out for a duel. It doesn't have to be to the death. It could be swords. It could be bugle sticks. Maybe that would make for a more polite society. I don't know. I'm ready to go there.
You see that, Piers? You see that? Who's the first to threaten violence? Of course, Eric from the right wing.
Yeah, but,
whereas I denounce violence. I denounce it strongly and loudly, and you heard it with your own ears.
Well, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, as usual, smash that thumbs up button for your boy. It really does help me out. If this is not your first time here watching one of the videos on the channel, hopefully this will be the day in which I can earn your subscription. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.